students, good afternoon. Today we are looking at adverbs and what it entails. So the first question is, what is an adverb? What is an adverb? Well, before I continue, let me remind you that you have a subject project to deal with. And in the subject project, this is what I expect each individual to do. You are to write a 2-page, I repeat, a 2-page summary of any book you have read. A 2-page summary. Introduction, middle, and then conclusion. State the author of the book and add it. That would be for your assessment on the project, subject project. So you take note of that. Please, you are submitting it by hand. Make sure you don't copy from anybody, because if you do copy work, when you bring it, I will cancel it. So don't do that. Now we say that adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. So what is more important here is that adverbs do not, I repeat, adverbs do not modify nouns. So let us be careful with it. So let's see some examples of adverbs. No, we have said adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. So we say that, first example, she walks slowly. She walks slowly. She dresses decently. Slowly and decently here are said to be adverbs. Why? Because they modify the verbs walks and then dresses. So the first part of the definition, which says that adverbs modify verbs, is true. So we have been able to prove that. Then the second one says that adverbs modify adjectives. Adverbs modify adjectives. So we look at it. She is very fast. Or she is extremely good. She is extremely good. Very here is adverb, and fast here is adjective. Then extremely is adverb, and good here is adjective. So second part of our definition is authenticated. That adverbs modify adjectives. Now the third part, which is adverbs modify other adverbs, you're going to see that. Examples are: she walks quite slowly. Quite is adverb, slowly is also adverb. Men are rather quickly. This is adverb and this is also adverb. And so we say that the third part of our definition is right. Is right. Now, let us look at forms of adverbs. Having known the definition. Now, most adverbs take ly as their end. So, for example, when we want to convert adjectives to adverbs, if we have slow, it will be slowly. If you have quick, it will be quickly. If you have leisure, it will be leisurely. Now, one thing that we must be careful with is that not every word that ends with ly is an adverb. And so, when we are identifying them, we have to be careful. For example, if you have a word like friendly, motherly, brotherly, fatherly, they are all not adverbs. They are rather adjectives. So let us be careful. Let us be careful. We can still add more like lovely, etc. They are all not, I repeat, they are all not adverbs, but they are rather adjectives. They are rather adjectives. Now, what we need to also be careful is sometimes the nature of the usage determines whether a word is adjective or adverb. For example, if you say he is a fast runner, fast here is modifying runner. It's modifying runner. And so it is an adjective. But we can say he runs fast. And fast here is adverb because it is modifying the verb what? Runs. And so let us always identify how the word is used before we can say. Another example is I read news papers. I read newspapers daily. And I read daily newspapers. Let me use it. I read daily newspapers. Daily here is modifying newspapers, so it becomes what? Adjective. But if you say the newspapers are published daily, then this becomes an adverb because it is what? Modifying published. It's telling us when the newspapers are have a lot of examples of adjectives and adverbs. Now, having known the forms, let us move on to the kinds of adverbs. Now, kinds of adverbs. We have about 8 kinds. And we're talking of time, place, frequency, we also have manner, we have degree, interrogative, and relative. And time, we can use now, soon, etc. as time. Today, then. Then place, we can use here, there, up, down, near, far, etc. Frequency, we can use often, seldom, etc. Then manner, we can use slowly, quickly, etc. Degree, we can use to, very, etc. Interrogative, we can use when, where, how, etc. Then relative, we can use when, where, etc. So these are some of the key words we can use in forming any adverb, phrase or clause that we want to use. Now, in dealing with the adverbs, we can have the regular and we can also have the comparative forms. So, for example, we can have a comparative and a superlative form. So, you can have your positive and you can have the comparative and superlative form. So, you have hard, you have harder, and then have the hardest. So you get hard, harder, hardest by adding the ER or IEST or EST to it. So you get high, higher, highest. Then we have early, earlier, and earliest. Then at certain points it requires that we add something to it to make it more complete. For instance, if you have quickly, you can add more to it to make it more quickly, or most quickly. Or fortunately, more fortunately, and most fortunately. So these are some of the things that we can talk of when we are talking of the degrees of modification in adverbs. So we can have the comparative and the superlative forms. Then we can talk of adverb phrase. And when we talk of the adverb phrase, we are talking of where the adverb is the head word. Where the adverb is the head word. For example, we can talk of very quickly. And here they are adverbs. And so when the adverb is the head, then it becomes adverb phrase. Or you can write very well or very badly. Because it has adverb head, we say it is an adverb phrase. And then in most of the cases, prepositional phrases which tell of time, place, and others are also said to be adverbs. So we need to look at them carefully. Now, functions of adverbs. And adverbs have two functions, and they either function as modifiers or as adverbials. When they function as modifiers, they modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. So the adverb can function as adjuncts, disjuncts, and conjunct. But today we are only looking at, in our case, we are only looking at adverbs as adjuncts. That is the major function we want to deal with. Please check the spellings. Adjuncts. Adjuncts. And they answer one question. They answer one of these questions. How, when, where, who, where, when, and how, why, how long, how often, and so on and so forth. So if you say she's here, or the man phoned his wife. The man phoned his wife. Here. The man phoned his wife today. And today, we are talking of a function. What is it? Today is talking of what? Time. And here is talking of what? A place. So let us take note of that. So adjuncts have a number of semantic functions, and we are talking of viewpoint. And the viewpoint is from what point of view? So if you consider what we are saying from the point of view of then the following sentence contains it. He is sound financially, or she is good academically. That is the point of view. So we can express our point of view about a person. Then we can have the focus adjuncts, which say that it indicates that what is being communicated is limited to the part that is focused. An example is, he got a prize just for sending in a text message. Or the lecturer used the term simply to get them confused. That is the focus, where the person is heading to. They also have intensifiers, which is used to heighten situations. And you also have emphasizers and amplifiers. I really don't believe him. She simply ignored me. They are going to be late for sure. These are for emphasis or emphasizers. They also have amplifiers, which is used to heighten situations. The lady completely rejected his proposal. I absolutely refused to attend any more faculty meetings. They hardly endorsed the new restaurant. They will have downtoners when you go down. And that one is, I kind of like this college. Joe sort of felt betrayed by his sister. His mother mildly disapproved. We can improve on this to some extent. And the boss almost fits that. So all these are some of the things we can say about it.